Hello, everyone, and welcome to beautiful Windsor, Ontario, as we welcome you to Day 2 of the CCSA Softball National Championship here on WeDigital.ca. To start off the day, it's the Durham Lords taking on the University of Toronto Varsity Blues as part of Pool A action. My name's Justin Prince. Welcome to today's action as we get ready to see which one of these teams can break through for victory. During day 1 of this tournament, both the Varsity Blues and the Lords finished 0 for 2. Those matchups against St. Clair College and UBCO. The weather forecast, once again, like yesterday, very brisk. In fact, it's even colder than yesterday. 4 degrees Celsius for opening pitch today. Clear blue skies. Precipitation chance at 10%. Wind gust to the west currently, about 10-11 kilometers per hour. Both teams getting warmed up for today's matchup. The Varsity Blues will go up to bat first, followed by the Durham Lords in this respective matchup. And the Durham Lords are depending upon one of their top pitchers from OCAA play once more. On the mound for this respective matchup and in the rubber is Emily Glendinning. Glendinning yesterday had performed up and down, to say the least. Had an early hook, in fact, against UBCO in a 10-9 thriller. The Durham Lords lost after the game-tying run was thrown out at the home plate for the final out of the 7th inning. That both teams just about all set to go for today's matchup. As leading things off for this respective matchup is the center fielder for the University of Toronto, Marette Elishu. We're underway here from Windsor. Elishu leads things off, followed by the second baseman for the University of Toronto Varsity Blues, 26 Madison Espinola. Then DP today will be Aaron Sullivan. 1-1 the count. Watches that one just outside the plate. 1-2. 1-2 to start off the opening at-bat of the matchup. And a swing and a miss. Strike 3 called, and Elishu sat down on strikes. First down of the ball game. Espinola getting ready to get to the base paths and to the plate now. The most recent match against St. Clair, 1 for 2 with a single. To the outside and fouled away down to the dugouts down the side. Inning. Yesterday, 4 in the 3rd innings of work. That one's fouled away for the second strike. 0-2 the count. Allowed 6 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts in the losing effort. Up high on the rise. 1-2. Get underway for early action for the CCSA Softball National Championship from Windsor. St. Clair College. 2-2 the count on the pitch outside. This time foul back to the screen, stays 2-2. To round out the respective lineup for Toronto today, first baseman Amelia Collette. Fall in the lineup by the left fielder and Janelle Hodge. That one watched for the full count, 3-2. Then both DeConnicks are in the lineup. Starting with Amanda DeConnick at third, shortstop is Beth DeConnick. This one chopped to second base. Played by Pullen and thrown over to first. Anna Oak making the catch for the second out of the inning. Quick routine play. Rounding out the lineup today, mind you, will be Monat and Tukosis with Umhe on the rubber today. In the batter's box now for the first strike this time is Sullivan. Sullivan pops it up. Tracked down by Glendenning. And the side is retired. 3 up and 3 down to start things off. We head to the bottom of the first inning in just a couple moments. You're watching We Did It All for CCSA Softball National Championship action.
For every big breath, for every little breath, and for every breath in between, Ontario Power Generation is committed to keeping Ontario's air clean. That's why the power we generate is 99% free of smog and carbon emissions. Because clean air matters to us all.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor for more coverage of CCSA Softball National Championship action as the Durham half of the first inning gets set to go in the next few moments. As mentioned moments ago, Katie Hume once again will be pitching from the rubber today, looking to try and have a better performance from the previous matchup where she performed against St. Clair. Durham will lead things off for this respective inning by bringing up their left fielder after going out with injury yesterday, Natalie Clemens, followed by the catcher Grace Hearns, the center fielder for this young squad as well will come out in Jocelyn Shelton. The DP, once again, who performed as a pitcher for some games, Sydney Reddick. Right fielder Abby Suffel, shortstop Riley Easton. Wants the top 6. First pitch, fouled away. Down towards the dugouts for the first strike, 0-1. As mentioned during the top of the first, had Oak at first base today. Third base, Mackenzie Williamson. Second base, once again, is Ariane Poulin. And Glendenning is the flex/pitcher. 0-1. Up high to the screen. 1-1. Clemens taking plenty of time in the box. The 1-1. Up high, too high. And a bit inside, 2-1. Umhe did have a full game performance against UBCO to start off the tournament earlier in the week. As swing and miss for strike 2. She allowed 8 hits against the Heat. 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts though. The losing effort. The 2-2. Just gets a piece of it. Throw from third to first in time for the first out. So a 5-3 ground out played by DeConnick. Over to Collette. As that will bring up Hearns. Yesterday, 3 hits and 3 at-bats against UBCO. Starting off with a strike, 0-1. The 0-1. Outside of the fastball, 1-1. Late call on the strike, in fact, 0-2. Upstairs misses 1-2. 1-2 for Hearns. The 1-2. Fastball misses this time. 2-2. 2-2 the count. Here in the bottom of the first inning. 1 out. The 2-2. Mumei. Chop foul down the first base line. Count stays at 2-2. Remember, the Durham Lords, for much of yesterday, spent a fair bit of time battling up at the plate, especially against the Heat. Earns a .463 hitter in OCAA play this year. This one to left field. And over the reach of the head of Hodge. Extra bases for Durham. The throw comes in from left field for a slide-in triple for Grace Hearns. And the first hit of the day goes far to left field, just out of the reach of Hodge. Sunshine could become a factor for much of this game. The sun is currently facing directly to the outfielders. Could that be an advantage for Shelton? We'll have to see. She sets up third in the lineup, the center fielder. Infield corners tight in. Starts off watching that one for a lonely pause strike call. 0-1. Umhei, 0-1, tries to get the bottom. Called strike 2. The 0-2. Straight off of Umhei. Bounces to Collect. Collect gets the force. However, a run does come in to score. So count that as a sacrifice of sorts. Durham leads 1-0. Two outs now in the inning, as that brings up Reddick. The OCAA a .354 hitter, but yesterday against UBCO, 2 at-bats, 2 runs scored, 2 walks. This one, chop to DeConnick. Throw over to Colette at first, and the side is retired. The Durham Lords get up on the board early. Your score, after 1 inning of play, 1-0. You're watching We Digital for coverage of CCSA Softball National Championship action from Windsor.
Every child should learn how to swim, for health, for safety, and for fun. That's why we've started Canada's Swim Team. Learn to swim at least 25 meters on your own, and you're on the team. Canada's Swim Team. It's that easy. Help make us the world's largest swim team by adding your name at getswimming.ca. Ask your parents first. Swimming, the only sport that can save your life.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor, Ontario, as we get all ready to go for the top of the second inning. We start the top of the second inning by launching the ball off towards the doghouse, set up in right field for the first strike, 0-1. The player launching that ball is Amelia Collette. Collette launches one over the grandstands for a second strike. Onto the press box it goes, 0-2. Keep in mind, several members of the press box had balls launched into the roof of the press box and roll in a couple times yesterday. 1-2. 1-2, reaching at one. But pulled back, looking for an appeal, and a strike three called. Second strikeout of the game for Glendinning. And ring-a-ding-ding, that brings up Hodge. Hodge reaches on a moonball, strike one. Hodge down the left field line and fair for extra bases. To the corner it goes. Hodge goes up to second. It's a stand-up double. The first hit for Toronto today. Amanda DeConnick now moves into the batter's box after the strong swing. Amanda played much of yesterday's games, in fact, all of the games. Beth DeConnick did not, who is next in the lineup card. So Amanda trying to go better than the 0 for 2 in the last game. Starts off with the ball, 1-0. Recap yesterday, 10-1 against St. Clair, loss 4-1 UBCO. Strike one called. Upstairs. And ball called, 2-1. And one of two games in action today. As that one launched down the line, foul on the quick pitch, 2-2. This matchup, as well as Western and Ottawa, taking place here at St. Clair Sports Park, the second of which is at Acumen Stadium. Catch that on feed 2 for We Digital on WeDigital.ca. Fouled away, still 2-2. Two and two. One out in the top of the second. Runner still at second. That time, watch that time for the ball. 3-2. On deck, Beth DeConnick. Quick pitch, bounces its way past the third baseman. Williamson can't make the play. And runners are now at the corners with one out in the top of the second. Beth DeConnick now coming up to the plate. Her first appearance of this tournament. And the shortstop for this respective matchup today. Foul back to the screen to start 0-1. Taking her time. 0-1. Upstairs. The stolen base to second. The tag up to third. Called safe. So runners now both in scoring position at second and third. 1-1 is the count. 1-1. Chopped over to Poulin. The throw to Oak bounces, but still gets there for the out. But a run does come in to score. We're tied at 1. Mona now comes up to the plate after the chopper. Starting off, fastball missing, 1-0. Fastball again, then called for a strike, 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. And then continuing to play with the gears a little bit. changing batter to batter. Runner still at third, 2 outs. That one fouled back to the screen, 1-2. 1-1 the score here in the top of the second inning after a 4-3 ground out brought in a run. The Taconics, amongst those, getting on the base paths this inning. Strike 3 called and the side is retired. But the damage is done by the Varsity Blues offense. They strike back in their half of the second. The Durham Lords look for their response right after this. You're watching We Did It All for coverage of the CCSA Softball National Championship.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Welcome once more to Windsor, Ontario, as we welcome you back for the bottom of the second inning. Here on We Did It All, as the Varsity Blues get ready to pitch after they tied things up offensively in the top half of the inning.
What can milk do?
Abby Seffel, Riley Easton, Hannah Oak will lead off this respective inning for the Durham Lords as we now move to the bottom of the inning. May starts things off, fastball in for strike 1. Second pitch, this time chopped over to Espinola. Throw to Colette, gets the out. So a 4-3 ground out starts off the inning and brings up Easton.
Now to bat for Durham, number 32, Riley Easton.
First pitch, Easton to the gap in right center. Bounces around. Still a single regardless. Easton is aboard with 1 out. That brings up Hannah Oak. First pitch, this time to left field. Tracked down and caught by Hodge. Forced back to first is Easton for the second out. So this bottom of the second inning continues for Williamson. Williamson yesterday, 1 for 4. Left 2 runners on base. That was in the matchup against UBCO in the Heat. First pitch this time, low and inside, rolls away from Monet. Monet not able to make a play, and the runner steals a base in turn. So Easton to second with 2 outs. The 1-0. Chopped over to Espinola. Throw to Collegiate. Retires the side. One hit, one runner left on base. And after 2 innings of play, 1-1, still your score. You're watching We Digital for coverage of CCSA Softball National Championship action.
What can milk do? Well, it can turn you into a morning person. It can help fuel some pretty tough stuff. And it can definitely make cartoons funnier.
No, it can't.
Oh, well, it can have a little edge. But come on, even kiddies love it. It'll keep up with you at any age. It makes engines whir and creme brulee creamy. It's one of the easiest labels you'll ever read. And anything that makes this happen is pretty special. In fact, what can't milk do?
No. I never smoked any. Sure, I smoked a bit. But it was more your mom who was into it. Pot grows naturally, but it won't help you grow as a person.
Talking cannabis with your teen can be learned. Download our free brochure.
You know what? Poison ivy grows naturally, but it's not good for you, is it?
Find the answers you need at drugfreekidscanada.org.
Welcome back, everyone, for the top of the third inning. 1-1 the score. As Dracosis is now up at the plate, the right fielder for this respective matchup. The 1-0, chopped up the middle, in for a base hit. Dracosis leads off the inning with a bang-bang single. No one there to make the play, way out of the reach of Easton. That brings up the top of the lineup card, Alishu. Alishu watches one tied upstairs missing. 1-0 to start this count. Alishu in the first inning struck out to start the game. Alishu off speed watches that one for the longly called strike, 1-1. 1-1 upstairs on the rice ball. 2-1. Runner at first. Nobody out here on the top of the third. The bunt play down the line. Oak can't make the tag, but the throw does get them. So a 3-4 ground out moves the runner up on the sacrifice. That brings up Espinola. Espinola 4-3 ground out last time. Chops it to the screen to start things off 0-1. Again, coming into this tournament, the University of Toronto this year, second in the East in University softball play. A mistake on the throw, off to third, and the run comes in to score all the way around. How about that for a mistake? An error from Hearns and a bad throw to third allows a run to score. It's 2-1 Toronto. Upstairs that time. 1-2 on the board. 1-2 still. Again, this is Espinola still at the plate. Espinola dribbles it over to Williamson. Throw to Oak with the reach. Gets him. So that picks up the second out of the inning. Glendenning hitting the deck to be able to give space for Oak to make the play on the throw. So that brings up the DP, Sullivan. Upstairs to start, missing 1-0. 1-0 working quick off speed. Just gets in the zone, 1-1. Solving a fifth-year eligible player from the state of New York. Last time popped it up. This time hits it off the top of the glove of Owen. It goes all the way to the outfield to get on base. Credit for the single given. So the inning continues now for Collegiate. Collegiate struck out last time up. Starts off with one outside the zone, 1-0. And it looks like a different ball being requested for this next pitch. So a runner at first, 2 outs, 1-0 the count here in the top of the third inning. Toronto leads 2-1 after an error by Hearns. Strike called, 1-1. Denning works, trying to aim for the outside part of the plate, gets it for 1-2. 1-2, trying to get the outside part of the plate again. Missed it this time, 2-2. The 2-2 quickly. Over to second to Poulin to retire the side. So the Varsity Blues get on the board once again. This time, after a mistake, they head to the bottom of the third inning, up by 1.
For every big breath, for every little breath, and for every breath in between, Ontario Power Generation is committed to keeping Ontario's air clean. That's why the power we generate is 99% free of smog and carbon emissions. Because clean air matters to us all.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor as we enter the bottom of the third inning. Toronto up by 1. The Varsity Blues leading over the Lords. Owen, Clemens, Hearns are set to begin this inning. The 9-1 and 2 hitters. One set to lead things off from the batter's box. So we enter the bottom of the inning. Owen yesterday went hitless, struck out twice against UBCO, left a runner on base as well in that matchup. Starts off with a strike, 0-1. The 0-1 from Humhey, trying to aim for the knees. Gets the call, 0-2. The 0-2 coming from Humhey. Foul back to the screen, stays 0-2. Again, both of these teams looking for their first respective victories of this year's national championship tournament. For Durham, they lost 6-0 to St. Clair and then 10-9 to UBCO yesterday. This time, squirreled up and twirled down. It stays 0-2 on the foul. The 0-2. Take 3 from Humhe. Inside it into the turf, 1-2. Durham, last year's OCAA gold medalist. Those medals. History of the OCAA at that mark for softball. Throw from second to first. A tight play. Bang, bang for the out. That's the third 4-3 ground of the game. That time, Espinal having to have Colette reach up for that one. Look at the tight play off the slide and off the stretch. That brings up Clemens. Clemens goes for the bunt. Trying to use speed, gets on base with an infield single. Durham known for using bunts as seen yesterday. That time getting a runner aboard. They are known to be steal prone. 43 steals in the OCAA, as talked about yesterday. Several steals in yesterday's games, too. That time, starting things off, Hearns running out the ball. Originally thought of a bunt, pulled it back, though, 1-0. Hearns taking her time in the box. 1-0. This time, hit over the head of Colette. To the outfield it goes. Clemens advances to third. Now moving over to second goes Hearns. So a single and then a runner advanced on the throw. Runners now in scoring position with one out. The conference now being taken by the Varsity Blues as they look to discuss things. As the 3-hole hitter, Shelton, comes up next. Critical time of this matchup. Runners at second and third now. First pitch of this count for Shelton. Outside, 1-0. Shelton last time grounded out, but did bring in a run. The 1-0 upstairs. Missing that time, 2-0. 2-0 for Shelton. Horns at second, Clemens at third. Down in the turf again. And the count extends forward. A good hitter's count, 3-0. Sidney Reddick on deck. And a timeout called once again.
Was she mad about the Jeopardy?
3-0 set up. Humhe looking for a strike. Does she get the call? Yes. Strike one called below towards the knees. The runners set at second and third. The 3-1. Chopped over to Espinola. The throw home. Called safe, and a run comes in to score. Runners are now at the corners. Fielder's choice RBI, the ruling. That will bring up Reddick and another conference. Things tied up at 2 here at St. Clair Sports Park. And Ume looking to try and keep things at bay. So far, Hume yet to have a strikeout, yet to have a walk, has allowed 2 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings of work. Reddick grounded out last time. A 5-3 ground out. Starts off with 1 to the bottom corner, gets the first strike 0-1, and a runner advances up to second. So Shelton takes a free base and a stolen base. Runners at second and third now for the 0-1. Down to the turf, this time 1-1. Ume taking the sign, 1-1. Tied inside on the fastball, missing, 2-1. Hearns at third. Shelton at second. Reddick with a chance to bring in some RBIs and take the lead here with 1 swing to the bat. The swing to Shallow. Pops up and caught by Espinola. That'll bring a Bobby Suffle. Seen on the replay, just got underneath it. And the ball rockets its way through the sun to the sunglass Espinola. Bobby Suffle grounded out to second base last time up. Runners still at second and third, 2 outs. Up high, over the head of Suffle to start, 1-0. Bullpen is getting to work now for the Varsity Blues. That one misses, 2-0. The third pitch of the at-bat, getting all set. Ume's pitch fouled back to the screen for the strike. Player in the bullpen of note wearing a compression shirt, so no number indicated yet on who may come in to replace Hume if things continue the trend they are in this one. Timeout called by Suffle. Discussion with Mona to plan things out. Run came in earlier this inning in the bottom half as part of a fielder's choice by Shelton. Upstairs over Suffle's head again, 3-1. Looks like a check also indicated from the outside umpiring crew to make sure of the swing. 3-1 still. The 3-1. Misses the outside corner. And Suffle is aboard. The bases are loaded with the first walk of the game. Riley Easton comes up to the plate. Easton had a single and a stolen base last time up. Grounded to the shortstop. Pepticonic. Throw over to first. Gets him, and the side is retired. So the Durham Lords tied up again at 2. 3 innings down. To the top of the fourth we go right after this.
Every child should learn how to swim for health, for safety, and for fun. That's why we've started Canada's Swim Team. Learn to swim at least 25 meters on your own, and you're on the team. Canada's Swim Team. It's that easy. Help make us the world's largest swim team by adding your name at getswimming.ca. Ask your parents first. Swimming, the only sport that can save your life.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windsor as we enter the top of the fourth inning here on WeDigital.ca. This game cruising along. Hodge and the Draconics will come up this inning for the Varsity Blues. Quinth inning so far, 3 strikeouts, 2 earned runs in 3 innings of work, 54 pitches. Keep in mind, Hannah Oak is starting to make her way into the bullpen right now. Starting things off for this count, a ball, 1-0. Rise ball misses, 2-0. Hodge waits at the plate, fouls it away, 2-1. The wind starting to swirl to right field. Hodge to left center field. Tracked down by Shelton. And a fly out to the center fielder gets the first out of the inning. That brings up Amanda DeConnick. Amanda last time up hit a single. It's part of a flurry of hits to begin the second. Up to right field and tracked down for the P4. Bowen having to make a far track out nearly to right field, in fact, for that one. So that brings up Beth DeConnick. Beth had a 4-3 ground out for an RBI in the second inning. Starts off tight inside, 1-0. Rise ball misses, 2-0. 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning in a 2-2 ball game. 2-0 the count. Inning taking her time to gather up for this one. The 2-0. Pop to the sky again, this time to right field, and tracked down to retire the side in order. So the 5, 6, and 7 hitters can't break through. To the bottom of the fourth we go, tied up at 2 on We Did It All.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
A look over at the campus here at St. Clair College. That's the main campus building here at the college as we enter the bottom of the fourth inning. between Durham and University of Toronto. Oak, Williamson, Poulin set to go the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Those batters went 0 for 3 combined in the second and third innings. Oak looks to change that statistic in this bottom of the fourth inning. Starting things off, Humhey, off speed, misses down below the knees, 1-0 to begin this count. Score update from Acumen Stadium. Western is up 1-0 over the Ottawa GGs. Catch that as well here on WeDigital.ca. Oak to right field. Kosis tracks it down and gets a hug in response. So a fly out to start off the inning. Let's take a look at the replay. That looked a little bit tight for a moment. You can see why. Lishu able to slow down the momentum before she runs to the wall, as that brings up Williamson. Williamson, that time starts off with one, called a ball, 1-0. That has been a tight part of the zone for today's game around the letters. This time, dribble to Hume. Throw to Colette, gets the second out. That'll bring Poulin up. She's from Saskatchewan and pops it up. A diving play caught by Colette. And the side is retired in order 7, 8, and 9 this time. So neither team giving in the fourth inning. How will the fifth fare out? Let's find out here on We Did It All.
No, I never smoked any. Sure, I smoked a bit, but it was more your mom who was into it. Pot grows naturally, but it won't help you grow as a person.
Talking cannabis with your teen can be learned. Download our free brochure.
You know what? Poison ivy grows naturally, but it's not good for you, is it?
Find the answers you need at drugfreekidscanada.org.
Acumen Stadium continuing to buzz along for its softball matchup as well today here on CCSA Softball National Championship coverage on We Digital. That matchup still in its bottom fourth inning as we enter the top of the fifth inning here. Leading things off this inning is Mona, followed by Tricosis. Starting things off, the catcher hits it to left field, and it's caught down for a flyout, a quick first out. Glendenning so far, now 4 1/3 innings of work, 3 strikeouts, the 2 earned runs allowed, starting to keep the pitch count in control for this one. 64 pitches so far in the game with this at bat. Kosis now to the plate, up high, 1-0. Kosis started with a single for her day today in the third inning. That time missing off speed, 2-0. The 2-0. This time popped up, played by Reddick. And a quick 2 outs. And the middle part of this matchup starting to breeze on by. The lineup card now flips to the top of the page. Alishu comes back up. 0 for 2 today. This one grounded past the shortstop in Easton. And the inning continues with a 2-out single. Leishu first pitch swinging to get it by Glendenning and by Easton to keep this inning going for Espanola. Starting off with a pitch out, the throw to second. Got her on the tag, and the side is retired. So caught stealing to end the top of the frame. Durham knew what was coming and got him out. They stay tied at 2 to the bottom of the 5th.
Mont's On Time Express has all of your delivery needs covered with a fleet of 50 vehicles, including cargo and sprinter vans, along with 24-foot straight trucks. It doesn't matter if the freight is big or small. Mont's On Time Express can guarantee safe and prompt delivery service throughout Canada and the United States. Licensed to broker freight throughout North America, Mont's On Time Express features same-day delivery service, along with a state-of-the-art dispatching system and live GPS tracking assistance. Mont's is fully insured and Canadian bonded and has certifications with FAST, CTAT, PIP, and SmartWay. Mont's On Time Express is open 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. To get your delivery moving, contact Mont's On Time Express at www.montsontime.ca or call toll-free at 877-250-8282.
A look over at the scoreboard here so far as we enter the bottom of the 5th inning, tied up at 2. So far, Toronto 5 hits, Durham 4. The top of the lineup, though, for the Lords look to try and break through for the lead. Clemens, Hearns, and Shelton lead off this inning. So May's day continues. 4 innings of work, 1 walk, 2 earned runs, no strikeouts yet. Part of the line has been tough to get out. Just like that, an easy first out. Clemens with a quick bunt. And a 5-3 ground out starts off the inning. That will bring up Hearns. Hearns 2 for 2 today with a triple and a single. Starts off just around the edge of the plate, missing 1-0. Sign coming in, the 1-0. Getting a piece of it to center. Leishu tries to track it, can't. A ground rule double called. And Hearns is aboard. It is now a home run away from the cycle. That bouncing over the deepest part of the ballpark and the tallest part of the fence. That brings up Shelton. Ground out leading to an RBI and a fielder's choice leading to an RBI today, as well as a stolen base. First pitch, getting underneath it for a foul ball. That rolls to the tennis center and misses a fire hydrant, 0-1. Two-two. The score here with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. That one rolls towards the turf, 1-1. Varsity Blues. Line up the 1-1. Lined up to center is the hit. Leishu throws it in to home, offline. And an RBI single for Shelton gives Durham the lead late. 3-2 the score on the RBI single. That will bring up, and it looks like a conference now taking place with Craig Sarson. And Sarson has switched the pitcher now. So a change coming in after the lead given up. Humhey, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 4 1/3 innings of work, 0 strikeouts. Joey Ma now comes in. Ma, seen action yesterday. The action respectively seen against St. Clair in the 10-1 loss. Ma had 2 2/3 innings of work yesterday, 3 hits allowed, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 strikeouts. In a mercy rule ended game after 4. 4.5, should say. So just about all set to get back underway with Sidney Reddick up at the plate and Shelton at first. How will this bottom of the 5th inning fare? We're about to find out. Reddick so far a pop-up and a ground out. Looking to break through this time. The first pitch down towards the middle third of the plate. 0-1. Fastball this time. Call it a ball. 1-1. 1-1 from Ma. Reddick gets a piece of it. Played by Amanda DeConnick. Throw over to first. Gets the out, but moves the runner up. So a second 5-3 grounder of the game for Reddick. Abby Suffo now comes up with 2 away. Starting things off speed, getting the outside part of the plate. First strike, 0-1. The 0-1. Popped up and dropped. A tough dive either way for Colette to make. Second strike, 0-2. Let's take a look at how close it was. Remember, there's already been 1 dive in foul territory today. That time a quarter step too shy. The 0-2. Got her swinging. And the side is retired. But the Durham Lords break through to take the lead. 3-2 the score after 5. To the top of the 6th we go, and we did it all.
For every big breath, for every little breath, and for every breath in between, Ontario Power Generation is committed to keeping Ontario's air clean. That's why the power we generate is 99% free of smog and carbon emissions. Because clean air matters to us all.
Welcome back back, everyone, to Windsor as we enter the top of the 6th inning. Durham Lords up by 1. The heart of the lineup, though, for the Varsity Blues now coming up to try and break through. Espinola, Sullivan, Colette. Starting things off missing 1-0. Espinola so far 0 for 2 today. Grounded out in 2 different ways. This time fouls it away. That one going all the way to the medical tent. 1-1. All set to go for the 1-1. Fastball way outside. 2-1. 2-1 swings and misses. 2-2. 2-2. Rise ball hits the top of the zone and popped up to the sky for the catch for Easton. First out of the inning, popped up to the shortstop. That brings up the designated player, Sullivan. Starting off with one in the zone. Bottom third that time, 0-1. Sullivan backing up and watching that one, 1-1. London continuing to play with the gears a bit. This time off speed, chopped over to Poulin. Bob it around, throw to Rennick. Goes to the backstop along the fencing for the dunk out. And a runner gets aboard via an error. So a pinch runner being called in now for Sullivan. Coming in as the pinch runner is Caitlin Graham. Colette comes up to the plate. Colette 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a lineout so far. Starts off watching one, call it a strike just to the outside of the plate. The 0-1 aiming for the same spot, missing it though by about half a foot this time, 1-1. Runner at first, 1 out. At the top of the 6th inning. Colette to the outfield, in for a bloop single. Throw to second, gets the runner, however. So a fielder's choice coming in on that play. Take a look off the bounce. The runner from first did not go, thinking it might be caught. Instead gets thrown out for the second out. Hodge swings and maybe have gotten a piece of that one to start off this count, 0-1. A runner still at first, 2 outs. You're in the top of the 6th. Toronto looking to try and find a way to respond back like they have most of this game to scores. Swinging at a high pitch, missing. And a pitcher's count now, 0-2. Denny looking to work quick from the stretch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. And the side is retired. So the Durham Lords hold on to a one-run advantage. As we head to the bottom of the sixth inning, 32 is your score.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Welcome back to Windsor. As we get ready for the bottom of the sixth inning, Durham looking for a little bit of insurance. As we get ready to see how this bottom of the sixth inning fares out. Easton, slot from Oak and Williamson set. Oak is moving to the on-deck circle. Despite being shuffled out from first base, will keep on in this game. We'll see if that indicates the change for the seventh. Easton starts off with a chopper. Played by DeConnick. Over to first, and Collegiate has the first out. So a quick play made by Amanda DeConnick as that brings up Hannah Oak. 2 flyouts so far for Oak today. Off to left field. This time it drops. In for extra bases. Oak gets to second. A stand-up double. Her first hit of the day. And a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Just under the glove of Hodge. And a pinch hitter has been called. For the first time this tournament, Caitlin Wilson will come up to the plate. Wilson, a second-year player from Pickering, went to Markham High School. So runner at second, 1 out in the bottom of the sixth. Wilson, keep in mind, has had 31 at-bats in OCA play, 14 games, 3 hits. Has struck out 12 times. A sub-100 hitter, and that doesn't matter in the Nationals. To the outfield it goes, an RBI double. How about that from Wilson? Her first extra base hit of the calendar year extends the lead for Durham. It's 4-2. That brings up Poulin as the Lords build up a buffer. Another change, another pinch hitter, Kylie Schofield. Starts off watching strike 1 to begin the count 0-1. Get a runner at second. Another chance to bring in some insurance for the Durham Lords. After an RBI double The first extra base hit for Wilson this year. That one watched down below the knees, 1-1. The 1-1. Outside and backing up, 2-1. Two one. Rise ball misses, 3-1. And a check back over to second. Clemens is on deck. The 3-1. Chopped over to short. Played by DeConnick for the second out. So Beth DeConnick able to get the run over. And the runner does not advance in the sequence. So the runner stays at second for Clemens. Ma deals. First pitch. Off speed, top of the zone in. Strike one. All taking her time. Takes the sign. The 0-1. Reaching at one with a half swing of sorts. 0-2. The 0-2. Up to the sky. Tricosis in right. Tracks it down. And the side is retired. But the Durham Lords extend the gap to the top of the seventh. They look for their first win. Look to hold on in a moment here when We Did It All.
What can milk do? Well, it can turn you into a morning person. It can help fuel some pretty tough stuff. And it can definitely make cartoons funnier.
No, it can't.
Oh, well, it can have a little edge. But come on, even kiddies love it. It'll keep up with you at any age. It makes engines whir and creme brulee creamy. It's one of the easiest labels you'll ever read. And anything that makes this happen is pretty special. In fact, what can't milk do?
No. I never smoked any. Sure, I smoked a bit. But it was more your mom who was into it. Pot grows naturally, but it won't help you grow as a person.
Talking cannabis with your teen can be learned. Download our free brochure.
You know what? Poison ivy grows naturally, but it's not good for you, is it?
Find the answers you need at drugfreekidscanada.org.
A look over at the Canadian flag. The wind's currently gusting to center field and out to the parking lot. As we enter the top of the seventh inning, the Varsity Blues looking to try and break through. With the bottom part of the lineup, they have the DeConnicks and Mona to lead off this respective inning. Amongst the changes, Williamson to short. As things start off with a chopper to second. Throw over to Reddick at first for the first out. Play made quickly by Poulin, who has stayed in after the initial pinch hit swap with Schofield. Going for the bunt this time, Beth DeConnick. Ball called at the plate, 1-0 to start this count. Varsity Blues down to 2 outs. Fouled away, 1-1. The 1-1. Off speed. Called the strike 2. 1-2. Past the shortstop to the outfield it goes. Bepticonic gets aboard with a single. And the game-tying run is now up to the plate. Shiloh Chislett comes up as the pinch hitter. And starts off with one to the backstop. They say it is fouled away, though. Strike 1. Chislett struggled against UBCO yesterday. Had a walk and a pop-up. 0-1. Make it 1-1. Getting one to the turf for the 1-1. Quickly the 1-1 thrown and popped to center. And a big second out on the fly. And it all comes down to Tricosis. Tricosis sets up at the plate. Pops it up. Reddick tracks it up and tracks it down. And the side is retired to end the game. The Durham Lords have their first victory of this tournament. 4-2 is the final. The Durham Lords come away with their first victory of this respective tournament, while the University of Toronto Varsity Blues dropped to 0-3 in this year's Nationals. On that note, it's time to say goodbye for now. Thank you for tuning in for this respective matchup of the CCSA Softball National Championship. Again at 11:30 a.m. St. Clair College will take the field to take on UBCO at Acumen Stadium. You'll have the University of Calgary taking on the Humber Hawks. Until then, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. We'll see you in just a bit.